Hi cookies, welcome back. Today I am making something that may look a little suspect to you if you're not familiar with Louisiana, specifically New Orleans cuisine. I'm making my version of the New Orleans original Yakamein. Yes, good old sober. This was requested a long time ago for me to film, so I'm doing it for you today. It's really easy, takes a little bit of time, but it is worth it. The flavor is serious, so let's cook it. All right, let's talk meats. So, in this soup, you can use beef, chicken, pork, seafood, a combination of two, three, or put all of them together, honey. It's up to you. I'm going to do beef and shrimp today. The ideal of this soup is to be a cure for hangover. So you use whatever meats you have available on hand. It's easy ingredients. So leftover meat will be perfect if you have that. And of course, if you use leftover meat, your cooking time will be a lot shorter. But anyway, I'm using some sirloin. You can use any cut of beef you prefer. I've used a chuck roast before. You can use stew meat, whatever. So we're just going to season this meat. First, I'm using some Creole seasoning. I'm using Zatarain's. You can use Tony's, Laurie's, whatever you prefer. And now some accent. It looked like a lot of accent, but it wasn't a whole lot. Full recipe measurements will be in the description box. Now I'm adding onion and garlic powder. That's all for our dry ingredients, so just mix that up well. And lastly, but not least, some Worcestershire sauce. Did I do it? I think I did it. I can't do it again. But anyway, toss that well. I know I'm only using a little bit of meat because I'm not making a whole lot this time, but the recipe is for a larger amount, okay, to feed more people. I'm just feeding me today. To the stove we go. Y'all, I got some new lighting, but this ain't it. It's at the post office because I don't feel like going to get it right now, so we gonna use the old lighting. That is horrible, but we gonna do it. Y'all can still see. All right, so I have some water boiling. Check the link in the description for the measurements. And now here, you don't have to use water. You can use the beef broth, okay, but I'm using water because I'm adding in some beef base. You can also use bouillon cubes, but I like this stuff better. Alright, now we have some nice beef broth going. We're going to add in our meat, and we're going to let this cook until our meat is good and tender. I'm going to lower the heat to like a low simmer because I want this meat to melt in your mouth, honey. We want it tender, tender, tender. And we also want those flavors from the seasoning on the meat to combine with that of that beef broth. Alright, my talk throughs are whack. I always end up playing myself. But anyway, just gonna stir it well and turn that heat down to low. Let it simmer. I'm gonna cover it in a second. And we're gonna cook it for about 2 to 3 hours, depending on the cut of meat you have and the thickness of it. So we just want to cook it, like I said earlier, until it's super tender, okay? And if you're using leftover meat, of course you won't have to cook it that long. So let's cover it up and find something to do for a couple of hours. While our meat is cooking, we're going to work on the noodles. Traditionally, spaghetti is used, thin spaghetti, regular spaghetti is used in the soup, but I love these rice sticks. You can find them in the Asian section of your grocery store. I got these from Walmart. Thanks to my cousin Melissa for recommending these. I love them. This is how they look. Again, feel free to use spaghetti, thin spaghetti, whatever. I love these, and they're really easy to cook. Let me show you. All you do is heat up enough water to cover the noodles in a pot. I put the water in there and I heated it until it was almost boiling. Then I turned off the heat and added in the noodles, and we just let them sit in there for 10 minutes. Just press them down so that the water covers them and they soak, and just let them chill out for 10 minutes. Okay, after about 2.5 hours, I checked this meat and it's so dang tender. Like, this stuff is ready. The flavor is in there. That broth, y'all, you gotta try it. I didn't even have to adjust the seasoning at all. So let's get ready for the shrimp. Okay, these are the shrimp I'm using. They are 51 to 70 count, not too big, not too little. They're perfect for this. And I'm just going to season them lightly with onion and garlic powder. The broth has enough salt and the flavor is perfect in the broth, so I don't want to disturb that. So I just lightly season my shrimp, and then we're going to add them in. Once I add in my shrimp, I'm going to let them cook for 5 minutes only. Then I'm going to turn off the heat and let them soak in this deliciousness for about 30 minutes, just so that flavor can get into the shrimp. Okay, got it? All right, turn the heat off. And this is what our noodles look like after 10 minutes. Look at that. They're so good, y'all. Go try these if you haven't already. They're really good in this soup. Now just drain them as you would spaghetti. Don't rinse. And let's put it in a bowl. Okay, first I just put in the noodles, then poured some of that broth, and add in your boiled eggs. I know if you're not familiar with this dish, it looks weird, but you have to trust your girl. It is so good. And do I need to tell y'all how to boil eggs? I hope not. Now top it with some green onion. Okay, and all of this I'm showing you now is optional. You can add some spice because it's really good in this dish. You can top it with sriracha, or if you have some hot sauce in your bag, swag, you know that's what I use, baby. Crystal hot sauce. Let me shake a little bit of that on this here soup. And you can also use soy sauce if you'd like. And that is it, cookies. We are done. This is my version of Yakamein. If you've never tried it before, don't let these eggs scare you, boo. I know it look a little weird if you're not used to it, but trust your girl. I know flavor. And this is it. Try it. Y'all watch me struggle. Look at that. Struggle. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Check that description box. All the info you need is there. And until next time, I'm about to eat this. Be blessed.